Hey everyone, this is Chris Crazy House back with some Chris Crazy commentary. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the ending of G4. For those who don't know, the gaming network G4 had relaunched maybe a year or so ago, and they were going to try to reclaim the glory that they had in kind of like the mid 2000s. And they had I think they had an actual channel, but they also had a YouTube channel that they were going to do the same thing, I guess, that they had been doing, where they were reviewing games and whatnot and playing games and doing little skits and whatnot. But it didn't work. The audience has basically changed. It's not the same as it was before, and the network just fell off. So within a year, this company came out of the gates with a big opening and doing a lot of advertising and pushing, and all of it has come to an end. And it's, I'm sort of sensitive to these types of things because, I kind of saw the end coming a few months ago, like probably during the summertime, but it was almost like a slow burn because they had laid off a whole bunch of people. And once they start laying off a bunch of people like that, that's not a good sign. It's not going to improve anytime soon, okay? I'm sensitive to that because I've dealt with that situation as an employee working within corporate America, or also just working within the social gaming industry. You can be at a company that is quote-unquote successful, or that investors are pouring money into, or that maybe has a lot of media attention, and you can still be out of a job later on. Like I've worked at companies that were getting write-ups on Google and everywhere else, and like these big, media websites and stuff were doing articles about the product that we were working on, and still 3 months later I was out of a job. So it doesn't really matter how much a company puts into the marketing, or it doesn't matter so much how much a company, pushes something out there. You can still find yourself looking for work. And the sad part is I saw that a lot of the employees that were working at this new version of G4, they found out that they lost their jobs on Twitter. Like they saw that the CEO or the main vice president, who was like the head of the network, was basically saying how G4 version 2 had failed and that they would be closing their doors. That's how they found out that they were not going to have a job. And I've been in that situation too, where the CEO flies somewhere else and you think everything is all good, and then he gives a phone call or a text and basically tells everyone that you're out of a job and they're closing down. So it happens. Okay, these are the things that happen within any type of gaming industry, or just this industry that we call entertainment altogether. It can happen very easily. So when I see stories like this, I always want young people to be aware that there isn't a lot of job security in these types of things, okay? And it doesn't matter how successful you are, or how successful the program or the game or whatever that you're working on. Don't think that it can't end, because it can end very easily. Okay, so I know a lot of people within the social media, they're kind of blaming a lot of the social justice messages that the new G4 was trying to push, or they blame that goofy chick Frost and her little rant that she had at the beginning of the new launch of G4 about women in gaming or whatever, or sexism in gaming. That's not necessarily the reason they shut down. Okay, that didn't help, but that's not the reason they shut down. Because truth be told, a lot of the people that complained about that, they still continued to watch G4 just so that they could tear her down. You see what I'm saying? Like that whole anti-woke idea, that's also a moneymaker these days. You can be anti-woke and make money just by continuing to watch these people and do a new critique every week about what you don't like about these people. Hate is a good dollar as well. So, in that regard, I don't think that necessarily hurt them all the way. It sort of helped them in a way, because now people will rage hate the show just that they can hate on Frost or write articles about how much they don't like Frost. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't necessarily that caused the end of G4, but it was more to what I said at the beginning, how the industry and that whole idea of a gaming network, that's all changed. Like, they would have done better if they had hired some popular gaming YouTubers like Zach Scott Games or Zebra Gamer or something like that, and had them on G4 rather than having some of these people who we know don't really play video games up there acting like they're gamers. You know what I'm saying? Because even when they made their little YouTube channel, they weren't getting any views. Some of the people I just mentioned, like Zach Scott Games, gets millions of views a day just playing Mario Brothers, and these people weren't getting those same views. Some of those other gaming channels that just introduce new games that I like to follow, they make more as far as their views or whatever than these people, the G4 was ever going to make. So the whole industry has changed. It's not the same as it was before, where you could have a centralized place that only talked about games. That whole business model of just having a one channel that all people can go to, that doesn't work anymore. The internet has destroyed that. Things like YouTube and TikTok and Twitch have destroyed that. You know what I mean? That people rather go see that. Young people rather go to those places and get all the information they want to know from their peers about video games, rather than going to a centralized network channel about games where they can kind of control the narrative. When it's their peers, at least people know that they're getting more of an honest opinion about what their peers think about a game. 'Cause a lot of times they'll have the same opinions, or they can argue back and forth, and they can argue with this person. When someone on G4 says something about a game, you don't know where it's coming from. They might be getting paid by the gaming company to say that this game is good, and that was the fault and the fall of the original G4. They highlight these major gaming companies paying these people money to get upvotes on games, and the game really wasn't any good whatsoever. So, the whole industry has changed, and they were spending a lot of money building these brand new studios and paying for people to come in and talk about certain games, and it can't work anymore. You can't use that business model when the entire way that people get information on games has changed. Once again, you can go on YouTube or Twitch and find out all you need to know about a new game way before having a deal or get a subscription to a cable network channel and watch that and find out what, and they might not give you the right information. So it's different now, and they would have been better off just going ahead and getting some Twitch or some streamers or some people from YouTube and getting them on G4 than what they actually did. So, you folks can let me know about it in the comments, how you feel about the fall of G4 version 2. I didn't watch it. I didn't even want to waste time with it because I thought it was pointless. I knew it wasn't going to last very long. But once again, like I said in the beginning, I'm sensitive to these sorts of things because I've been in that situation when you work at somewhere and you wind up losing your job. So I feel sorry for the people behind the scenes, or people who are working there. There were even people I saw online who were still applying. They were on like the second or third stage of their application, about to get a job there, who found out that G4 is closing their doors. So I feel for them, for those out there who are looking for work and couldn't get in. Okay, and they got to restart their job search and go somewhere else. So I'm sensitive to that sort of thing. So watch out for things like that when you work in this industry. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.